If it's Wednesday, we must be talking about your money because there's that music. So many of us have spent way too much during the holidays and money can be tight. So how is it possible that we can save money while still trying to get on track with our budgets? There is a way. Personal finance expert Jeanette Pavini just released her book, The Joy of Saving, and she joins us now to tell us how saving can be a joyful event. Good morning, Jeanette. I just want to get straight to it because it's so interesting that you say the joy of saving evokes a feeling, right? And so many of us have a personal attachment or we attach an emotion to money. So how do we let money affect our lives, or how do our emotions affect how we spend our money?
Well, I think what a lot of people do is they put their head in the sand when it comes to their money. And we don't have a relationship with money because we charge a lot. We don't use cash or currency or debit cards. So we really have this disassociation with money. And what we need to do is have a relationship with our money. And you do that by becoming aware of what you're spending and what you're saving.
It's so very true. I think, from personal experience, there have been times in my life where I'm like, I do not want to look at this bank statement because it's just going to depress me. But you do it because it keeps you on track, which leads me to, we need to change the way we think about money. But how do we do that when so many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, especially after this year that we've had?
Yes, this year has been an eye-opening year. And I think what it has taught us is that saving is more important than spending. And here's how you do that, because you're absolutely correct. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, or they don't know where their next paycheck is coming from. Here is where you need to realize that knowledge is power. You look at your monthly budget and you see what in that budget has some flexibility. Your groceries, your personal care item, your entertainment, if you are doing any of that, your wardrobe expenses, the things that you have flexibility, and that's what you tackle. And you look at each of those and you say, all right, I am going to cut back on those. And my whole book is full of all the strategies for the things that are flexible in your monthly budget and how to reduce those.
You also give the reader tangible tips. And I need to get to the bottom of this. You say you can give yourself a $6,000 raise in 2021. I am all ears, sister.
All right. So here, and I tried this myself so that I could definitely, speak the truth on this. As I mentioned before, what you want to do is look at the flexible things. Let's take three things. Groceries. Your grocery bill is literally the one thing in your monthly budget that you have so much control over. What you want to do, you want to sign up for your loyalty card with your local grocery store. You want to build your menu around what's on sale. You want to use coupons. Use technology. Apps like the coupons.com app is a good way to start. You want to do things like if something's out of stock but it's on sale, get a rain check so that you get it on sale when it comes back in. That alone will slash your grocery bill by up to 50%. Now you have money that you would have otherwise been turning over to the grocery store. You have it. And what I did in this last week is I called my cell phone provider. I lowered my monthly bill by $90 a month. So right now I'm saving over $1,000 a year right there. If you do go to work, you're working outside of your home, brown bag it. Don't buy lunch out right now or limit it to once or twice a week. Those three things right there can save you thousands of dollars a year.
I'm all ears. And Jeanette, I want to bring in the rest of the gang here. The full title of your book is called Joy of Saving, Lessons I Learned from My Italian-American Father and 20 Years as a Consumer Reporter. We have an Italian-American on the broadcast. What was the best money tip your dad ever gave you?
Well, Galdo, my dad, he had many tips. The book is filled with those, but I would say the two that stick out to me is find joy in living within your means. Yeah. And he did that. He was part of the greatest generation after World War II, after the Great Depression. They survived and they thrived, but they lived within their means. And I don't feel we're doing that these days. Right. We're always looking beyond. find joy in that. And he was a big guy that believed in volunteering because he didn't have the money to necessarily spend, but he always felt like by volunteering, what you're getting back is so much internally that it's priceless. So those were the two things that I took away. And never charge if you don't have to.
That's amazing.
Galdo was not into charging.
Well, because you're paying it forward. If you don't have the money to pay it forward, you pay it forward with your time at the same time. I think that's fantastic. I'm an Italian American here, and my grandfather and my father always said the same thing, which was always drop something into your savings account, regardless of the amount. Right? So you get some money in, you drop some portion of it, no matter what that portion is, into your savings account, even if it's $5.
You just hit the nail on the head, and that was something that I talk about in the book. Even if it is $5, that it adds up. And also psychologically, it gives you something. Like I have a savings account, and there's been studies done that even $250 to $300 in a savings account can really help someone ward off a lot of financial issues.
Right.
And it's empowering. They are those little Italian American guys out there.
There you go.
Hey, Joy, quickly, are lottery tickets a waste of money? Because meteorologist Byron Moran is always making fun of us for joining in the company pot.
Well, I think that, I mean, if you win, it pays off. I'd say that's a good investment. I think if you have the money, sure, why not once in a while? But it's definitely not something, your odds aren't as good. I think maybe it's better to throw it into a savings account. But if you win, I'd be wrong.
Right? The chances are pretty slim, though.
Jeanette Pavini, thank you so much for sharing those tips with us. Love the Emmy and the book, by the way.
Yes.
If you want to read her book and more helpful advice, Jeanette's book, The Joy of Saving. We appreciate your time.
Very nice. Thank you, Marisol.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeanette.